Good. Got a message right when I went live that I disconnected from OBS, but I think I'm good. I think I'm live. Um, all right. What is up, fellas? New episode of Rewriting History with the Goob. Got some good content for you today. I'd struggle with the thumbnails and the titles, but the content should be good. Before I get into that, quick message for Copper, Mormon buddy. I know you either just had a baby or you are imminently about to have a baby, so good luck or congratulations, whichever is appropriate. I'm terrible at texting. I haven't forgotten about you, man. Uh, I know you're busy. I would love to have you on the show. I think it would be a great episode. And I just want to make clear that you are welcome anytime. If you get time next week, great. Next month, great. If you're sitting on the couch 3 months from now and you go, hey, I was thinking about going on that show with the Goob, hit me up. Like, you can literally hit me up at 4:30 on a Sunday, and unless I have some other guest scheduled, like, I'll fit you in that week right then and there. So open invitation whenever you get time, man. I know you're busy, but I'd love to do that at some point with you. Last week I did an episode with Gulag Kulak, which fantastic interview. Like, if I could have him interview me for every episode, that would make this show so much better. The dude was very professional, very good at what he did. But I wanted to address a couple of things that he asked about that I feel like I could answer a little bit more completely. So starting with the Michigan relics, I've talked about the Michigan relics several times, and my position on them has been rather wishy-washy. I don't know whether they're real, whether they're fake, whether there's some kind of combination of the two. And I think I have a final position, a final answer on the Michigan relics. What's up, Mr. Laser? And I think the Michigan relics were legitimate. I think the Michigan relics were legitimate. After looking into this more, they almost had to be legitimate. So a couple of things. The clay tablets, right? They submerged these clay tablets in water for up to 5 days at a time, fully submerged in water for up to 5 days at a time. And then they were able to crumble them with their hands, and they go, look, here's proof that these clay tablets are not legitimate. How could they survive in the earth for a couple hundred years in Michigan if, submerging them in water for 5 days at a time is enough to compromise them? Well, we have lost thousands of cuneiform tablets from the old world, from Iraq, from Sumeria, because exactly that reason. They survived for thousands of years, 4,000+ years, 5,000 years in the earth, and then they were dug up and they were exposed to the elements, and they have since been destroyed because they were, exposed to the elements and no longer in the earth. So if those clay tablets can survive for thousands of years, completely untarnished in the earth, and then you dig them up, and after a few years of being exposed to the elements, they're completely destroyed, and this has happened to thousands of them. It's a completely ridiculous method of trying to prove the clay tablets' illegitimacy, and it was just a way for them to destroy all of them. They destroyed so many tablets through doing this. I've covered some of the other silliness, like they looked at one copper tablet and determined that it was modern rolled copper. Well, that doesn't match the rest of the copper tablets, but they use that one to dismiss all of them, right? But I think the greatest evidence for this, that their legitimacy, is that these guys did this for over 30 years. They dug up tens of thousands of these artifacts with other people. They were the way they were doing this is they would find a hill, they would find a mound, and they would go, hey, let's get a group of people together to go dig up this mound. We identified this mound. We think this will be, a good candidate to find artifacts in. Here's a clearly man-made mound. Let's go dig in that. And then they would find artifacts in there, and they did this for over 30 years, often with their detractors. Like, people who were skeptical would be most often the people who would join them on the digs, right? Because they were skeptical, they wanted to prove them wrong. And not once in the course of 30 years did anyone ever catch them in the act. And one of the things that was made very clear was that these artifacts were not pre-planted, right? These artifacts, what's up, Fame, Argonian? Good to see you in the chat, man. These, pretty much everyone like the people who actually participated in these digs universally agreed that these were not planted artifacts, and that they weren't digging up these mounds, burying something there, and then coming back later. These were undisturbed mounds. That was a consistent thing found throughout the people who dug in these mounds. They all agreed these were undisturbed. So how are they faking it? And really the only accusation that's made with any potential legitimacy is that they were pulling a sleight of hand. They were digging into these mounds, and then when no one was looking, they were throwing the artifacts in the earth and then going, look at what we uncovered. And maybe that works. Maybe that works sometimes for like some of these tablets and things like that. But you can look, I don't have anything pulled up right now. Yeah, I don't have anything pulled up right now. But you can look at Google Images and see the types of artifacts that are found with these Michigan relics, and they're not all small objects. Like, some of them are these huge chests, right? These huge clay chests and stuff like that. These large three-dimensional objects. And so how are they doing this? How are they doing this for 30 plus years with people watching them? No one's ever catching them, but somehow they're sneaking this stuff into the ground when no one's looking. And one of the last digs that they ever did, they did with 8 of their greatest detractors, 8 of the highest profile people that were claiming they were fraudsters. They went on 2 final digs with these 8 people. They found artifacts on both of the digs and both of the mounds. One of the mounds had a 100-plus-year-old tree on top of it, where the artifacts were intertwined in the roots of this tree, right? And I think the split was like 6-2. So like 6 of the people maintained that, yeah, we couldn't catch him. We had 8 people watching 2 people. We did it for 2 separate digs, so we couldn't catch him the first time. We were really watching him the second time, and viciously. Am I good? Someone let me know in the chat if I'm good. I mean, you can see this too, I think. Hopefully I'm still connected. Hopefully I'm still streaming. So, you know, in final answer, the Michigan relics, oh my goodness, I'm really having issues here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet today. Sorry. I'm just going to keep forging ahead because I don't know what else to do. But final answer on the Michigan relics, I think they were legitimate. I think that the obvious forgeries that are clearly forgeries are very likely from, again, because you are dealing with tens of thousands of these artifacts, like, it's easy for a fake one to get slipped in. These things are trading hands between, displayed them with a big disclaimer that these were fakes and frauds. Sorry about the connection issues, guys. And so when the museum did that, the family tried to get the artifacts back, and then the museum went, yeah, no, too bad. We have these now. These are ours. You have no rights to them anymore. And they just stole them from them, and then now they've taken them off display, and they're just in this museum's archive, and no one's able to see them anymore. So final answer, I think there's really something there. Atlantis, this super advanced civilization, existed 12,000 years ago. They were wiped out by the Younger Dryas event, and then for 6,000 years, nothing happened. Just nothing. We were Ooga Booga cavemen for 6,000 years. And then 6,000 years ago, someone rediscovered something, and Sumeria was launched. Again, just this full relaunching of civilization, because they rediscovered, you know, remains of Atlantis or something. I don't know. I just restarted my... whatever. I don't know. We'll come back next week, I guess, but hopefully I can get this. Hopefully, I don't know. Gonna restart. I'll be back soon, fellas. Hopefully.